The Metis Tech Show.
Welcome to the Metis Tech Show, a show for HVAC professionals by HVAC professionals.
I like how you guys bounce back and forth between heat pump talk and food talk.
The Metis Tech Show.
Mitsubishi.
Yeah, so we're here in Boston, and we went to Legal Seafood last night. What'd you have over there, Marcus?
Hey man, I had that beer battered fish. It was amazing. It was a nice big piece of fish, and those fish chips, they were actually fries, by the way. But those fries were nice and good, thick fries too. It was a good meal.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I had the same thing. Beer batter wasn't quite as thick as I normally am used to, but it was a great piece of fish. It wasn't overly done. It was a lot of food though.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Way more than I could eat. So what about you, Ralph? What'd you have over there?
I had the steak. I'm always going to take the stuff that walks on land versus swims in the sea. Right. That's always going to be my choice.
Yeah.
You don't like fish?
Nah.
No.
No.
Me
I
neither.
used to, but it's got too much of a fishy taste.
Yeah, it's the fish part. that I
There's
don't
something
like.
about that. It's just that stuff.
I'm the exact same way, which is why people give me a hard time because I say I don't like fish, but then I'll eat tuna and I'll eat sushi. Like,
Yeah.
the thing is,
I love sushi.
is raw fish isn't as fishy to me, and I like it better. When you cook it, like as soon as it hits a grill, I'm like, it's terrible. Tastes
Yeah.
awful.
I used to eat fish when I was a kid. It's amazing. I used to eat a lot more when I was a kid, and as I started getting older, my taste started changing. So,
Man, there's nothing better than some deep fried fish. Oh my goodness.
I used to
Yeah, I
love
love it.
catfish, boy. Oh,
Yeah.
I tear that stuff up.
I mean, it's a staple, you know?
But yeah, I'm just got over it. Marcus, where are you from? This is the first time you're here.
This is my first time on the show. So originally from Washington D.C.
Yeah.
Went down to North Carolina for school and military services, and I'm in Illinois now.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh,
Illinois.
you went from North Carolina
Yeah.
to Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that'd be
definitely
a
a
culture
change.
shock for me.
Was
It
a
is
haul.
a shock.
I don't know. Our Schaumburg place up there, that's pretty nice area. Up
That's
there.
a nice
So,
area. Nice.
I haven't had the pleasure to go yet, but I'll
Take me out
be
there,
looking
Will.
forward. Yeah, it'll be a good experience.
All right, what are we talking about today, there, Will?
Well, first of all, welcome everybody to the Metis Tech Show. Unfortunately, you guys
Great
don't
job.
get to do it as often. There's a whole bunch of stuff we got out of the way. Totally understandable. So welcome to the Metis Tech Show, everybody. I'm here with Will. He is our instructor out of the Orlando Training Center.
Correct.
Marcus is our new instructor out of the Chicago Training Center, which Marcus is actually out of Schaumburg Training
yeah.
Center. They call it Chicago.
Chicago.
And then we've got Ralph, of course, resident professional, all things M&P, and he is out of our Dallas Training Center. So it was actually funny. Last week, me and Marcus were talking. He just qualified for M&P,
Right.
so
Yeah.
good job, Marcus.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Will did too, actually. So way to go,
I did,
Will.
Thank you.
Well, we were talking because we were coming here to Boston, and I was like, you won't probably see a whole lot of Boston because we are called the Boston Training Center, but we're about 40 minutes outside of actual Boston.
Yeah.
And I compared it to Schaumburg because I'm like, yeah, it's called the Chicago Training Center, but it's not in Chicago. It's very much a suburb, which is kind of like what we are here. We're close enough, but technically not quite the same.
Not Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the multi-position air handlers, the SVZs, the PVAs, the PVFYs, etc. And we're going to talk.
What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about the horizontal left, right, and downflow applications, and talk about some of the accessories and the refrigerant sensor.
Cool.
Yeah. So one of the problems that we've been having, and actually QA asked for some of our assistance with this, is when we first released the SVZ A2L version, we were getting a ton of 5558 error codes, which is, or what is it, FH, if it's a P series, which is the refrigerant sensor error. And what we found was that the refrigerant sensors, which need to be relocated were not being relocated.
Of course.
Water was dripping on them, shorting out the boards and giving us that sensor error. So this podcast is really to just cover the basic steps on reorienting, but then also really hammer home what do we need to do to move that sensor prior to commissioning the equipment. Because believe it or not, even though there's a big warning on that coil plate,
Nobody looked
No
at
one
it.
looks at
nobody sees it. So let's we'll go over the steps in general. Let's start with just if you got to reorient the air handler, what steps have to be taken, and then we'll focus in on the refrigerant sensor itself. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Awesome. So let's start with upflow. What do we have to do to reorient the unit for upflow?
It's nothing.
Is that a trick?
Not a whole lot. It comes from the factory.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You got it. So nothing has to be done if you're doing upflow. You will see a drain pan on the right-hand side of the coil. Totally fine.
I would remove that
Yeah.
because it's just blocking airflow, right? So I would actually pull the coil, take that horizontal pan out, and that way you clear all that up.
Gotcha. Yeah. So sometimes not specifically stated in the manual, but maybe a best practice kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Ralph was a DSG, so he's seen all the problems.
Yeah.
So it's a good resource for that kind of stuff because he's seen the issues with airflow and all that. So yeah, maybe if you're going upflow, you're not going to need the drain pan. Might be worthwhile taking out, even if it's not specifically stated in the refrigerant or in the installation manual. So upflow is good. We don't have to do anything. Except for, I think it was Will, you started to mention it, static.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We need to take a static reading. We
Yeah.
need to use a manometer, get our static at least the first time we start the unit up, and go ahead and make our adjustments on the airflow.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm always so jealous of the commercial guys because every time I run a commercial class, I ask them, you guys balancing the air handlers?
No.
And they go, no, tab guys do it.
Yeah.
Whole separate contractor just to do that. And I'm jealous because I was mostly residential.
Well, they had duct guys.
Yep.
Guys came in and did test and balances, and they would just put the equipment, set it down, and the guys did the rest. Yeah, they were like, yeah.
Yeah, some guys
We did
was
our
telling
job.
me,
You got it from here.
Yep. All right. What about downflow? Anything we have to do for downflow applications?
You have to get the downflow kit for sure.
Downflow kit.
Yep.
And what is that downflow kit doing?
Just pretty much catching any water that might blow off the coil.
Okay. So, and that happens with our IntelliHeat too, where we actually look for a different airflow
Yep.
requirement,
Yep,
and
yep.
it's to try to prevent some of that.
Same thing
blow
with
off.
same thing with us on
Yeah.
the SVZs and the PVAs.
Yep. So there is a accessory called the downflow kit,
Yep.
and that is what we want to make sure we have if we are going with a downflow application.
Yeah.
And that's going to simply just help prevent some of the blow off.
If not, you'll be growing a bunch of mosquitoes in your ductwork.
Some stagnant water in there.
Yeah.
That's a guy from the South talking right
There you
there.
go, mosquitoes.
Some mosquitoes in there.
Awesome. So we have, I think a light just fell on
I
our.
do too.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Construction.
So we're under some major construction at the Boston Training Center, and so right now we have ducts and we have light fixtures just hanging.
Yeah.
Sounds like one of them just hit the ground.
Yep.
So you may or may not hear that. What about if we go horizontal right? Yeah, let's start with horizontal right. Anything we have to do for horizontal right?
Now it comes factory setup for horizontal right.
No.
Correct.
Yeah. So that includes the drain pan.
Yep.
Already on the right hand
Yep.
side.
Yep.
The blower
Yes.
oriented for right hand blow.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. And then we will talk about the sensor next. But
Sure.
just for equipment purposes, no need to reorient anything
No.
else.
So always sell jobs. If it's going to be horizontal, make sure it's horizontal right. And then you don't have to do anything.
Horizontal right, and you're in there.
Yeah.
Because when it
Makes
comes
life
for
easy.
time for horizontal left, if you don't do these other important steps, you're going to be going back.
Just tell your boss we're just going to flop all the ductwork around.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, turn the supply into a return.
That's right.
Yeah, it's going to be an infield configuration, once you go left, though. You got to change that out in the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And so horizontal left, that's the real bear. That's the one that's going to take a couple steps. And this, again, we're doing this without talking about the refrigerant sensor yet. There are still a couple steps that we have to take when we go horizontal left. So
Definitely so.
what are some of those things that we have to do?
Changing the orientation of the blower.
Okay.
So if you don't change it, now your blower is going to be at the top and the weight of your blower wheel is going to pull on the shaft of the motor, and you're going to mess the motor up.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
that
So
180-degree turn.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So pull it out and flip it over. Now, haven't you guys ever done that before? I've never had to. But
Yeah, I
from what
had
I've seen, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's on rails, so it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
slide it out,
Yeah.
slide it back
Yes.
in, which is great.
Yeah.
There may be some removing, or not removing, but at least reconfiguring some of the wiring,
Correct.
just to make sure that you're not tugging too much on harnesses
Yes.
and things like
Also,
that.
that's a good point. That's a good point. The coil thermistors.
Yes.
Coil thermistors, if guys aren't careful, they do a couple different things. Either they will, because on the SVZ, where the coil thermistors are, they wire into one plug, and then that plug plugs into a connector on another wire that goes to the board.
Right.
Right? So if they're not careful, they break that connector.
Right.
Or they will, the wire for that thermistor will end up under the coil, and it will rub and it'll pinch, and what'll happen is you'll get a thermistor error.
Yeah.
The problem when this first came out is in order to replace that wire, you had to order the whole side panel.
Right.
Yes.
And then, because it was horizontal left, you had to uninstall the whole thing to change that panel.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
what we ended up doing was actually any one of our indoor air handlers, whether it be PVFY, PVA, SVZ, those thermistors will all work, right? So you could order. So what we ended up doing was having people order a thermistors for PVA,
Right.
and then it's all one long wire from the
Right.
coil to the board.
Oh, okay.
There is no connector in the middle. Now it was a little longer, so you'd have to coil it up and you zip tie it, but it would work.
Yeah, it's easier than doing
so-
all that replacement.
Yeah. So, but that was a big problem. I answer countless calls,
Yeah.
and for that thermistor.
Yeah, I know we had a
yanking
bunch of issues with that. And even like when I would teach the class,
Yeah.
the 2-day class, it was something I'd mentioned. It's like, just be careful because they run behind the panel.
Right.
Yeah, the in between the insulation and the
Yeah,
panel itself,
exactly.
and it was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So
But,
if you have to reorient, you could potentially pinch or completely break that wire.
Yep.
And then you're out until
You're out.
you get
Yeah.
it replaced. So
Yeah. So there is but like I said, if you ever do have to replace that wire, I don't know if they ever changed it to where that the Mister wire is not in between the insulation and the panel, but just order a PVA, the Mister for PVA. It's all the same thing and it'll work.
yeah, a little easier to route that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You just slide it in under the little 90 where the door is. Yeah. So
Yeah. So we got to reorient the blower.
yeah.
We got to watch out for those thermistors. What else do we have to do for horizontal left?
We need to pull that coil, flop our pan around, put it in the horizontal left position, route our wires properly.
Yeah. So because it comes set up for horizontal right,
Right.
the drain pan is on the right side of the coil. You got to flip that over to the other side.
The vinyl tubes.
Final tubes.
Yeah.
Yep.
the end.
So another big one, which this is, and it's going to lead really well into the sensor relocation, because in the installation bag, they have those. You can show them actually, those vinyl tubes, and those have to be used for horizontal left. And what we're doing is we're rerouting some of that drain water so that we make sure it collects in the pan instead of splashing around inside the cabinet. And if we don't do that step, there's a good chance we didn't relocate the sensor, which is why we had all those sensor errors come in. Water was dripping on those sensors.
Yeah, I'm going to make two suggestions. If you're doing horizontal left and you put those vinyl tubes in, great. If you do horizontal right, I would still suggest that you install those tubes. Just in case there's ever any problems. You don't want that call in the middle of the night, hey, our house is flooded or whatever.
Sure.
Right? So just use them. There's a spot on both
sides.
the right and the left. There's a spot for them. And then also, if you're doing an upflow, take those stupid things with you. Right? Because what happens is a lot of guys don't read the instructions. Those things get thrown away.
Yeah.
Now you have water in your ductwork on a horizontal install, and you don't have those. So keep them on your truck if it's upflow.
Yeah.
You know,
Not a bad idea.
I was going to say just two things about these tubes too. One, they come in an accessory bag with the actual equipment. And then 2, you want to just double check for any blockage. You want to make sure those tubes are clear.
Make sure those
That's
caps.
actually a really good point because you are kind of squeezing them into a tight spot.
Yeah.
So like kinking.
Yes.
It is drain, right? So just watch out for kinking. Make sure it's a nice straight run.
Make sure you pull the plugs
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you pull the plug.
because there are plugs in there. So make sure you pull the plugs.
Yeah. That's also a great point. So yeah, I mean, it's not anything too crazy. I don't think we're talking about a ton of intense steps.
Nah.
Benefit. The system comes with absolutely everything you need to reorient that equipment, whatever orientation you need. Drawback, there is some reconfiguration during the installation process. So just know, if it's not an upflow, it's not a horizontal right, you're doing something.
Yeah.
Check that install bag. We don't put parts in that install bag for fun. No. They're not just like, hey, if you want. They have purpose.
You know what? I was going to say something. You said that it comes with everything you need to make these changes, right? Well, the only thing it doesn't come with is the drive to want to do the changes.
That's right.
So make sure
The magic sauce,
that
right?
you have the drive to do it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it also doesn't have the requirement of reading that special install manual that has all these steps laid out.
Right.
The RTFM.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that thing is, and that's the thing is, in the cabinet you'll see a bag, and that bag contains an install manual and all of those accessories. So if you ever, in any of our equipment, see accessories in a bag, find out what they're for through the install manual before you commission the equipment, because you may be missing something. I promise we don't throw stuff in there for
Even
fun.
if it's a special zip tie.
Yes.
Literally.
100%.
I mean, don't put that zip tie in your tool bag. So, well,
Like, this
look
is
at
a
that.
good
They're giving us zip ties.
Got some for the next job.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, so let's get into the real guts of this thing, because this is where we are having a lot of the issues. Is relocating the refrigerant sensor. So we're going to go through the same thing: upflow, downflow, horizontal right, horizontal left. If we are doing upflow or downflow applications, do we have to move that sensor?
No.
Nope.
No. So refrigerant sensor comes screwed into the coil plate. You will see it if you remove the cover. You'll see it behind the coil plate on the left-hand side. That is where that sensor is located. If we're upflow, downflow, leave it. It's fine. Now let's do horizontal right. What do we have to do if we're going horizontal right? And we're going to break this up into different equipment.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's start with SVZs up to 3.5 ton.
Yep. Gonna get this accessory bracket.
Where do I find that?
This is gonna come in the goodie bags with the unit, along with the
goodie
valve
bag.
tubes that are not optional.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a clip on, so you're gonna just unmount that sensor, place it into this tray, clip it back onto the coil in the appropriate orientation.
Okay. Yeah. So I actually have, if you watch this on YouTube, this is actually a pretty good one to watch on YouTube because I have the images of what we need to do.
Yeah.
So coil plate itself has 4 screws.
Right.
So once you get the cover off, you've got 4 screws that need to come off so you can remove the coil plate. Now, this is where you might find a big sticker that says you need to reorient the sensor if you're going horizontal right or left. Once you've done that, you will see inside the cabinet on the left-hand side that sensor. There are 2 screws holding the sensor in. For the SVZ up to 3.5 ton,
Right.
we remove that sensor from the bracket and then we discard the bracket. We do not need it anymore.
Yeah.
So that is where your accessory comes in. Yep. And we're basically just sliding that sensor into the new bracket. And that's going where in the cabinet?
It'll be clipping onto the pan.
Yes, you got it. So the drain pan. And one of the things that I mentioned, because it is kind of important, is not anywhere on the drain pan.
Right.
If you're horizontal right, it's going to be on the supply, clipped
Right.
onto the drain pan, which is going to be the lower side of the cabinet.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be on the lower side of the cabinet?
Doesn't refrigerant settle?
Yeah.
It's heavier than air.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
the refrigerant's heavier than air. So think about just physics, right? Because it's heavier than air, it's going to sink to the bottom. And so we want to make sure that we're picking up that leak. So bottom side of the cabinet, regardless of orientation, right or left, it's going to be the bottom side of that cabinet. So horizontal right, remove the sensor, discard the bracket, use the new bracket, clip it into the drain pan.
The only accessory we'll tell you to throw away.
I don't know that I could find something to do with that thing.
Probably. And here's the thing. You could just leave it in place and slide the sensor out and just leave the bracket where it was. That's also fine.
Just in case.
Yeah. And maybe they one day decide, you know what?
They want to move
I want to turn my house on its side. Let's go upflow with this thing.
Maybe they're doing an addition. You know, I would leave it on the job actually because you never know. You never know.
100%. I totally agree.
And sometimes that bracket is that sensor is hard to get out of that bracket. So you can through the back plate of the actual bracket stick a screwdriver through there.
Yeah.
And just lightly press against that sensor.
Nice.
And they help get that sensor out of the series.
Yeah. When I did it this is our air handlers on the commercial side. Right. They have the refrigerant sensor that had to be relocated because I don't know about your training centers, but mine's horizontal. So I had to relocate mine.
Horizontal left.
And that was one of the steps I had to take. And they're hard to get out of that bracket. You got to kind of use that screwdriver to slide out.
Mine is horizontal right.
Man.
I planned it like that.
You know what? I didn't plan it that way, but I think the contractors might have because my supply is pointing about 4 feet from a wall.
Yeah.
But I could see them being like, you know what? No reconfiguration. Let's just leave it
like this. It's good.
Mine wasn't planned like that. It was just laid out. How we laid it out.
Sure. Yeah. Now, when it comes to horizontal left, we talked about the vinyl hoses. Do we have to do anything different with the sensor for horizontal left?
Well, I mean, it still needs to be moved.
It does.
Yes.
Yep. So same steps that apply to the horizontal right, except now we need to put it on the drain pan, which will be on the left side of the coil, still the lower portion of the cabinet. So do not discard the accessories that come in the install bag. They have a purpose. Make sure you don't need them. So that is our...
Hey, wait a second. Sure. I got something to say.
Absolutely.
Of course, I always have something to say. I'm just a little quieter and sometimes another. If you install this in the wintertime and you think you've gotten away with something and you don't relocate the sensor, you're going to be coming back in the summertime.
Yes.
As soon as that thing goes in air conditioning mode.
Yeah, that's actually a good point because think about you as a contractor. You installed a unit in, say, November, like in my area. We need it for heat in November. You install it in November, thing runs great for 6 months.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you get a sensor error. What is your thought? It's not, did I do something wrong?
Yep.
It's sensor already failed.
Yep.
And in reality,
I told you those sensors were bad.
You know what it reminds me of is when you put 120 to a 230 unit in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
If you put 120 to a 230 unit in the summer, it'll run in cooling. The capacity's bad. The efficiency stinks. But what happens is once you go into heat, we try to energize a reversing valve.
Don't have it.
That's when you run into problems. Again, 4 months into an install,
this thing is blowing ice cold air out.
What's going on? It's freezing in here.
You know, it's funny you tell that story, but I was going to a job site visit. So it was me and I had an ASM with me. And then Jorge, that's when he was still on the phone.
Yeah.
So he wanted to go do a job site visit. So he came with us. Now, I was at DSG. So when I get the call, we're in my truck. So I have it through CarPlay, right? So it's everybody in the truck can hear the...
Yeah.
So the guy calls me and said, man, it was working great in air conditioning, but now it's heating. It won't work. It just blows cold. So me being the DSG, I wanted to teach this guy, hey, more steps in how to diagnose the problem versus, hey, what's your voltage? Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but now Jorge, he's used to being on the phones. He was used to being on the phones. First thing he did is, hey, what's the voltage?
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, you ruined it for me, Jorge. Right? Because if you just tell them what the problem is, they're not gonna,
Yeah. It's actually, I talked to Sean Taus, who's one of our Tiger Team guys, and I told him, I'm like, I have such a hard time diagnosing over the phone.
No, I have it.
If I'm in person, no problem. We go through the steps, everything's easy. But diagnosing over the phone has its own skill, and our ASMs, our TSA folks down in Georgia, our Tiger Team, like he even told me, it's like, actually for me, it's easier to be on the phone because I make a mental picture in his head. And it's like, that's a whole skill you have to develop when you're helping out contractors.
When I used to answer phone calls, I would go outside and on my deck, I'd be talking to the guy on the phone and I would just pace the deck talking to the guy on the phone and fix it over the phone.
Yeah.
And they was telling us, well, you're going to have to start noting these calls that you do, right? And I'm like, And they said, well, it doesn't have to be the simple cause. It could be the more complicated cause. And I'm like, well, who gets to decide which one's complicated and not, right? I may be out there pacing the deck, fixing it, where somebody else is struggling looking through my link drive at the time, trying to figure out what it is. So who gets to decide which one's complicated and not?
That actually reminds me of a time that I had I don't know exactly how it came up, but for a while, this was a couple of winters ago, some of our engineers were helping with tech support calls.
Oh, I was doing it.
I think
year.
you were asking. We do
Yeah.
that sometimes just because workload is high and it happens. We need the extra hands. And so one of our engineers had asked me, hey, can you help me out with this? Because it was controls related. And he's really great with hydronics and stuff. So it just wasn't his skill set. So he asked if I could help out. So I get on the phone with this guy and he was trying to use 2 Ecobs off of a single pack 445 onto an SVZ, and he had it where one of the Ecobs also ran a wood boiler. And so we had wires going to multiple places. He had multiple wires shoved into terminals on the actual pack 445. And so he's explaining what he tried to do. And in theory, because I think in general, when contractors see the pack 445 in that terminal block, their mind immediately goes to 24-volt relay. And unfortunately, because we have the translation issues going to Mitsubishi, it's not that simple always. Yeah. And so in talking to him, I'm getting lost. He's explaining where you put the wires. He's explaining what he's got going on. I'm like, can you do me a favor? Can you just take a picture of the wiring behind each Ecobee and the wiring behind the pack 445? Yeah. And he did. And all of a sudden, like, it clicked for me. And that's the same thing where it's like, I was pacing the deck, like you said, and I just couldn't figure it out until I saw the pictures. And the funny thing is that I said, you know what? Let's simplify this. Let's just see if one Ecobee wired properly will work with your SVZ. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the pack 445 was already fried.
Too much stuff going on.
Yeah, so I was like, get another one, and then we'll figure out the wiring after. So that was a long tangent. I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean,
a lot of good points there. So let's move on to the 4 and 5 ton SVZs. Sure. This also applies to PVAs, which is our P series multi-position air handler, and our PVFYs, which is our city multi-position air handler. Same process for all of these systems.
Yes.
So much of it stays the same. There's really only one difference. So let's go through the steps and we'll talk about the major difference with these larger units and commercial units.
Yeah, we're still going to follow the basic steps of blower orientation and coil orientation.
Yep.
We're going to be careful with our sensors and strap them as proper, for the coil orientation, horizontal left, horizontal right. And then still going to need the downflow kit.
Yep.
Okay. And I don't know if it was mentioned, but did we talk about why the blower positioning is being moved?
Yeah.
Okay, we did talk about the sagging on the shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
the
just
weight
trying to
of
take the
the-
stress off the shaft. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ralph covered that for us.
Great.
But yeah, so specific to the refrigerant sensor, same steps, right? Those 4 coil plate screws come out, and that will give us access to the refrigerant sensor.
Correct.
The major difference is we are using the same bracket.
Don't throw it away.
Don't throw it away. We are using that bracket. So there's actually 2 screws that hold that bracket in place.
Correct.
And then we are reusing that bracket on the supply side. Now, this is only for horizontal right and left. Upflow, downflow, we already talked about.
Right.
Stays put, doesn't need to be moved. When you go horizontal right or left, you take that bracket off. And if you look inside the plenum, like where the actual ductwork would be attached on your supply side, if you look down at the coil, on the top and bottom, there are 2 screw holes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are pre-drilled holes for you to now take that sensor bracket and move it to that location.
Right. And I always tell guys, make sure you do it while it's on the ground.
Yeah.
Because if you put that ductwork on there, you're going to be in a world of trouble.
Nightmare. And that's actually a really good point. This should all be done before you put the ductwork on. While you're doing the addressing
Yes.
and the port assigning, because that should be done on the ground too, throw the sensor where it needs to be.
Absolutely.
It's not like you don't know already what the orientation of that unit is.
Right.
So do that all before it's even installed.
Unless you're dyslexic. Then you might want to get some help.
Yeah, it's like you ever see those people that have tattooed on their hands L and R?
Yeah.
So they know which one's which. So yeah, you want to find those holes, and then you're going to screw the bracket in. And the bracket, you want the longer plate on that bracket to be on the top.
Right.
So you'll see almost like a J shape, and the longer portion of it is facing up, and then the J portion of it would be facing down towards the bottom of the cabinet.
Right.
And same rule applies. If you're going horizontal right, it's going to be on the right side of the cabinet, which is the lower side. If you're going horizontal left, it's going to be on the left side of the cabinet, which is going to be your lower side. But once that's done, you put that sensor back into the bracket. And then a big thing to pay attention to is making sure that you secure those sensor wires.
Right.
Yeah.
Because what can happen is if you leave, a drip, or you don't leave a drip location that's centered over the drain pan, what happens is water will flow down it and then start dripping where it doesn't belong.
Right.
And you don't find out until the drop
Onto
seal
the
is wet.
sensor. Or,
Yeah.
yeah. Or into the
and done.
duct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're taking those steps. If you forget at any point, the install manual does lay it out step by step. We actually decided to do this podcast because some of the images can be a little bit tough to interpret.
Yep.
And so the video portion of this podcast has images that you'll see on there, and that will kind of make it a little bit more clear, I think, when you're actually looking at pictures of the equipment and where these things are located. It might be a little bit easier to determine.
Bryn, do you know if there's any place where these images are, where people can find them?
So that's a future state thing. So this was a request. We've talked about this on previous podcasts, but I'm part of the instructional design team now, and as a technical content developer, and I'm not exactly sure how I got involved with it, but I was asked from QA and from the engineering team, MEUS, to be on a meeting where we try to figure out what the best course of action is to eliminate these issues. Sure. And so one of the things that we may see moving forward, and it is something that is currently in process, is if you've ever seen the wall mounts, the MSZs, the FXs or GXs, there's a big yellow sticker on there.
Yeah.
And that sticker tells you remove the cover and put the refrigerant sensor in if there is a smart multi application.
Yes.
You might also see on the PCAs, the ceiling suspended units, there's a piece of paper taped to it that says if you're using a simple MA, you have to turn 5-8 off. So some of these things that maybe are challenging to find in the manual or maybe overlooked but can affect an installation, we are putting now some informational. And in fact, right behind Ralph is another yellow sticker on our IntelliHeats that talk about what to do with the U-bend covers if we're going downflow or upflow or whatever. Right. So with all that in mind, we're going to be doing the same thing in the future with the SVZs and the PVAs. A yellow sticker will be on there, and what we are working on and what I think will end up happening is a QR code will be on that yellow sticker. Yeah. So the contractor can scan a QR code, and it will bring them right to a document that has the steps as well as images that we just put up here to show exactly what they need to do. And I think it's just going to help in the long run.
Yeah, I agree.
Makes sense to me.
Man, we do have those tech tip videos as well.
Yes, that's a great point.
Step-by-step process.
Yep.
For repositioning, horizontal right.
Yeah, I think Jorge did them actually. I think it was Jorge recorded
on the
them.
IntelliHeat.
Was it the IntelliHeat?
Yeah. The I think the last one was the MVZ.
Yeah.
With removing, changing everything around.
Okay. Yeah, you're
was
right.
the MVZ.
Yes.
But Jorge did the IntelliHeat.
Yeah, but you can see those steps, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Marcus was talking about. Is if you go to the tech tips portion, you can find them on YouTube, and then they are on our contractor portal. If you can still get my link drive to work, they're in the tech tips tab. But yeah, there's step-by-step videos on how to reorient. It doesn't include the sensor because it's older generation, but that would just be the next step after you get the equipment reoriented. But anything else? I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah. Just make sure you do your static and your load.
Yeah.
Make sure you use your accessories and pay attention to your orientation.
Yeah. Don't lower the evap temperature unless you verified you need to. Do airflow first and then worry about the evap temp. Ralph was about to say, no, I tell him to do it on every job.
Turn that thing right
I'm in a whole different location. So when you're in the Georgia and Florida market, you're going to lower that evap temperature.
Yeah. That's pretty common.
Fair enough. Especially like, in my opinion, it's always like port style stuff, especially.
Yeah.
One-to-ones you might be able to do okay with the sizing and be able to remove enough humidity. Once you go into port style smart multi, sometimes it does make sense. And I totally get that. Just make sure your airflow is adequate first before you go and flip dip switches like that. But yeah, I think that covers it. What are we doing for dinner tonight? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Barbecue. barbecue, I believe.
We're doing barbecue.
No, we're having barbecue for lunch.
for lunch. Oh, yes, it's
Yeah, we are.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
We're going to do Portuguese tonight.
What is that? The Lucky's place? Or
This is up in Hudson. It's the Portuguese Club.
Yeah.
And they do dinner, but not every night of the week. So they're open tonight. And they do like steaks and stuff. Don't worry, you'll be okay. There's chorizo
okay.
and there's steak with an egg on it.
Nice.
I never understood the egg on the steak.
I thought that was like a thing that came from Texas.
No, not from Texas.
Maybe. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very popular Portuguese and Brazilian thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it. So I do it for breakfast a lot.
Yeah.
Because
Steak and egg.
something I don't love eggs.
double
and
protein.
I've been very open about this. I do not like eggs very much.
Right.
But dipping the steak in it.
Yeah, you like
makes
the yolk?
Yeah, it makes it tolerable.
That's good. Fair enough.
So maybe it's a combo of flavors, but yeah,
I
I'm
guess I
looking
was kind
forward
of
to it.
referencing like the hamburger with the egg on it.
Oh yeah, breakfast
First time I
burgers.
ever ate one of those was in Texas. I went there with a buddy,
No,
and he was
that-
like, "Dude, we got to go to this burger place." And I was
Yes.
like, "Is this a Texas thing?" Or
Nah.
he's like, "Yeah, maybe, I guess." And I was like,
Yes.
No, they
Sit
serve
down.
that stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay,
breakfast burgers though,
"Yeah, breakfast burgers,
amazing.
Bacon and
Get the
egg.
yeah,
Oh, my
bacon
goodness.
and egg.
Yeah.
Marcus gets the hamburgers.
Yeah.
hamburgers."
No
I was like, "I'm good with the hamburgers."
No cheeseburger
No
for,
cheese.
for Marcus. So now we're starting the food at the beginning and at the end. So we're starting a new trend. Paul and Steve aren't here. We can do what we want.
They would have a great time.
You know what, Ralph? That just tells me you've never listened to the end of any of our episodes because
I
we've been
do.
doing this for
I
a
do.
long time. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next one.
Later.
Later.
Peace.